we're at Bridge Food Pantry talking with Executive Director John Likeness. The topic is produce drops. The Bridge Pantry has successfully organized weekly produce drops in the community of Perham for the last 3 years. We'd like to learn a little bit more about how you accomplished this. So let's start off by explaining to our viewers how or what is a produce drop.
All right, well, first of all, it's called the Farm to Food Shelf program. It's actually funded by the state of Minnesota, and they had a budget for 2 years, which was renewed. And what this does is provides a source of money for producers that can either encourage them to plant additional rows or acreage, or at least harvest those things that they might have just plowed under or left behind. And then this produce is then provided through a network that's organized by the food banks in Minnesota. Now there's like 6 food banks, and there's over 300 food pantries or food shelves. So these are then distributed throughout this network, and the food banks encourage the food shelves and pantries to take the produce and then distribute it not only to clients but also to the public. So we decided that we would try it out, and it's worked out very well for the Perham area, and so we're going to continue to do that.
Tell me, what kind of foods do you receive through this?
Well, as you might imagine, it goes through the growing season. So at the early part of the season, you will get more cabbage and cucumbers and that kind of thing. And towards the end, you'll start seeing squash, carrots, and additional items. It kind of follows the growing season. We're hoping to also run and have some apples available as well later on.
Okay. What month do you typically start, and how do you start your process of getting ready for these produce drops?
Well, we actually started this year in July. We very early on, we actually had watermelon come in, as well as some other items that now we're not seeing anymore. We had cantaloupe as well. So we start the process by making sure that we have the adequate number of volunteers here, that we can market it and get the word out to the community as well, to make sure that the produce is taken.
Okay. You talked about having volunteers. How many volunteers do you think it takes?
Well, I would say if someone was going to do this, they should have at least, I would say 4, maybe 4 to 6, depending on the number of totes. That now, just to explain again, a tote is 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet, full of produce. So we just want to make sure that we have enough volunteers to monitor the distribution of produce, because some produce is more popular than others. Mm-hmm. So if you get like watermelon, a lot of people would take the watermelon. So we might have to restrict the number of watermelon that someone would take. Other things, it's more freewheeling, and you wouldn't have to monitor it as much.
How much time do you think it takes to plan a produce drop?
For me, it starts earlier in the week. I'm first of all, I get notification of what produce might be available. Then I set up, I contact all the sites that we drop by. We not only drop here at the Bridge Pantry, but we have 5 other locations as well that we also have them drop at the local factories, at a church, and that kind of thing, to make sure that we can get this in the hands of people that could use it. So as far as time-wise, I've never clocked myself, but I would say probably 6 to 8 hours of just planning, and then making sure it's all organized. And this morning, I'd meet the truck at 6 in the morning, and I follow the truck around to make sure that the right distribution is made at the sites that we committed.
Okay. So I know you talked about communication. That's key. How do you get the word out so that all the produce goes?
Well, there's a variety of ways. First of all, we have a Facebook page, and we actually did a survey with our clients, and we found out that over 65% of them actually use Facebook. So initially, we just make sure that every client that comes to visit us on our Tuesdays, if they have Facebook, that they sign up to our site. And then when we post it that produce is coming and what type is coming, then they will be notified right away. In addition to that, there's other support organizations around the community, Boys and Girls Club, Someplace Safe, et cetera, that, and the churches, that we have an email blast that we send out as well. And the magic thing too is word of mouth. As soon as these people know about it, they have their friends and workers or whatever, they just pass the word. So. Okay,
fantastic. Now you said you've done it for 3 years. How does it look different this year than it did the first year? How has it kind of evolved?
It's evolved primarily with the quantity, certainly. I mean, we had 107,000 pounds of produce that we provided last year. We're already over 300,000 pounds this year.
That's just incredible.
And the other thing is we found that we could also drop produce, not only here at the pantry, but I mentioned earlier that we could do it at different sites as well. So the different factories here in Perham, we drop produce when the shifts are changing. So people coming off, people going on, and that's helped increase. Yeah,
that's a great idea. So, what happens with leftover produce? And tell us a little bit about the quality of the produce as well.
The quality of the produce really has been very good. Occasionally, we'll run across a few items, that either are damaged or whatever. We have bins on the side of the totes that this is put into. And then we have a couple farmers or cattle people that'll come later, like tomorrow, the day after, and just check to make sure if there's anything left over that they would take and actually provide to cattle.
So everything gets used?
Everything gets used one way or the other. So.
Okay. So John, what kind of equipment would you need if you were going to do a produce drop?
Well, actually, you could get by without a lot of extra equipment. Like when North Country comes out with their truck, they do have a lift gate and everything, so they can actually distribute the produce for you. What we found, especially when we're dropping at the factories and other locations, we need to do it quickly so we can get there before the shift changes and after. So they actually provide a forklift, and it makes the process quick. Locally here now, we had one of our chairman of the board provided a pallet jack. Now, you don't always need it, you wouldn't need it, but for us it just helps consolidate. Once we start having the produce tote empty, we can quickly move it around and consolidate some of our items. So I wouldn't say you would need a lot of extra equipment to do this. North Country helps out quite a bit.
So they bring the totes, and then do they come and get them, or they take them back the next produce drop? Is that how that works?
No, we haven't. A couple things there. We have a pallet to deal with and the cardboard tote.
Yeah.
So the pallet, they will actually take back the following week. We happen to have found somebody here that refurbishes pallets, so they come and take them and take them away. The cardboard tote we have to recycle.
Okay.
So we take that to the recycling center, and that's it.
So then they bring another one, new ones the next time.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about your relationship with North Country Food Bank. How did you sign up for the program, and how would you
well,
do that?
A few years ago, when this program started, they were having difficulty getting food shelves and pantries to take produce. And actually, I was a little reluctant myself. So at one of the meetings that they hosted, they really were asking people just to try it. So I said, okay, I'll do 4. And so they delivered the 4 totes, and it was gone by 10 o'clock. So the next week I said, give me 6, and then it was gone by 11. And so it just mushroomed from there once the word got out and everything, and we found the quality was good. So our relationship with them, of course, is where we buy most of our food, but they are the main distributor for our pantries and that as far as produce goes.
Okay, yeah. You talked a little bit about the quality of the food, and I know you said to me that you want people coming back, so you want that quality to be good. So you are a little careful about what you distribute.
We do. I try to go around each time just to make sure that it's good. And frankly, there's been a time or two where we've had to send something back, but far and wide, the majority of it is very good, and people appreciate it. So.
Fantastic, good. I've talked to other food shelves, and they are sometimes a little reluctant to consider doing a produce drop. What would be your recommendation for getting started?
Well, there's a couple reasons for reluctance. One is this, you're uncertain that you can move the produce. And what I would recommend is just start with maybe 2 to 4 like we did of totes. Make sure that you have a little network set up in terms of awareness, especially to the churches. And then start with your own clients. Ask them if they have Facebook, and you'd be surprised how many people actually do. But make it available to the public, not just the clients, to the public in general, and you'll be very surprised and pleased how fast it goes.
Okay, great comments. How do you think this has impacted your clientele as well as the community?
Well, of course, the obvious thing is you're getting fresh produce into the hands of people that probably wouldn't have spent the money at the store. Produce is expensive. Fresh produce, and this is just a way of now of ensuring that you can get something out there, and we've actually talked to the local stores and stuff, and they have not seen a big impact in terms of traffic that they're seeing for their produce. So we think it's a win-win on both sides.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, congratulations, John. This is a great program that you have cultivated, and we really appreciate you taking time to share your experiences. And is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, I would. I just want to thank Partnership for Health for all your support in the past, and what you've done with even some of the baskets and stuff, and to help promote our mobile pantry as well. And just a little plug on that, we have a mobile pantry that we also put some of this fresh produce on as well, and we go out the first Tuesday of each month and that following Wednesday. So it's been a good partnership. We appreciate it.
Fantastic. And I know that this allows you to get some more fresh produce into your food pantry as well. And that has really been a goal with Partnership for Health, is to make healthy food more accessible, especially to people that have trouble being able to pay for it and afford it. So you're getting to the heart of that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.